So let's get started. A marketing plan directs a company's marketing efforts, clearly, right? We say that we're going to launch a new product, and we're going to say we're going to have objectives. The objective for the business might be something like, we want to sell $1 million this year. Objectives are always really broad and overreaching. Well, what are the strategies that we have to achieve in order to hit that financial objective? Strategies are going to be, we need to gain distribution for this new product line. And we need to get consumer awareness and trial for the new product. Tactics underneath distribution might be, we need to send our sales guys out and have them call on all of the category buyers in these particular classes of trade. Maybe it's food, so you want to go out and call on the buyers for the major retailers. Or you want to, and at the same time, go out and try and get it into the vending area. And maybe go into food service, right? Different classes of trade. All of this is around the strategy of distribution, which is going to hook up into your sales and profit objectives. But getting it sold into distribution is not enough. We need consumers to pull it out of the distribution channel too, right? One is a push strategy, right? That's the distribution building piece. And the pull strategy is, once I've loaded the shelves and vending machines in restaurants or whatever with our product, I need consumers to become aware of it. I need them to have an interest in it. I need them to have desire. And I need to push them into action. That's the AIDA model. Awareness, interest, desire, and action. This sends them into the stores. They buy the product. They pull it through. Okay? So that's another piece. The next piece would be, I need to advertise this thing. I need to have a certain share of voice. Share of voice is going to be, there are 4 competitors in your category. And there's maybe $500,000, these are all fake numbers, spent, right, on marketing in print. Well, if I'm going to compete in this channel, how much of that dollar spend are we going to have? If you have $100,000 spend in a $500,000 spend category, you've got 20% share of voice. So maybe that's another strategy, right? Your tactics are going to be, under advertising, are going to be, okay, we're going to spend it in print and in social media and maybe event marketing. And this is what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. So do you see how tactics kind of feed up into strategies and how strategies support overarching objectives? You guys follow what I'm doing here? Okay. So it's a really important piece. Doing this within a company and writing your marketing plan puts all of the important information about your market, all of your research, everything, in a place where the entire organization can view it and understand it. And it gets all the departments in the company to work together to achieve that objective. If I say I'm going to sell so many millions of units this year, and this is in my sales and marketing plan, the operation guys need to tool up and be prepared to supply the inventory required, which means that purchasing needs to provide the raw materials required to make the inventory, right? Which means that inventory planning and logistics have to be feeding into this thing to make sure that materials arrive on time, right? So all of the different departments in the company are acting together to make sure that this plan is successful. This marketing plan lists the goals and the objectives for specific periods of time. In the first quarter, if we have let's say we have a 1 million unit plan for the year, which ultimately, because of pricing and costs, is going to come out to some dollar of profit. I want to break that out quarter by quarter by quarter. And why do I want to do that? Because I want to know as I go along, are we near to or far away from success, right? I'm measuring my actual performance against those objectives that I put out there every month. And if I'm falling short, if we're not realizing what we thought we were going to achieve, then the marketing guys have to step aside and say, what's wrong? Remember, the marketing plan is built on information and assumptions. So they have to ask themselves, well, what parts of it did we get wrong? Why are we not there? So there's always a continuous feedback loop, okay? And having monthly, quarterly, annual numbers allows you plenty of opportunities to check your progress and say what's right and what's wrong and what do we have to fix in order to bring this closer into, what we said we were going to do. So the marketing plan then lays out these strategies and tactics that are required for the company to achieve those financial objectives. It also says we're going to have length and complexity of the plan depending on the size of the company. If I'm a small company and I'm launching a product, I can in no way put into motion the same kind of a plan that a company like ConAgra Foods would have put into play to launch a similar product. ConAgra has 30,000 employees and does $30 billion a year in food sales. It's a colossal organization. If I'm Joe's, food company in Fullerton, and I've got 10 employees, and we're renting space in somebody else's manufacturing plant, there's no way in the world that I can afford to compete in television, in radio, online, etc., the way a ConAgra would. So the plans that I create have to be right-sized for our organization. That will become important later when we talk about how do companies budget for their marketing plans. Because there's a percentage of sales, there's a bottom-up approach, there's a competitive parity approach. There's multiple ways to do this. But the real question is, what are you actually capable of achieving? And then building the right plan to suit not just the industry and your category, but one that the company itself can affect. So then it becomes a series of ongoing activities, right? If I know that I'm going to have a marketing campaign ready in June, which is going to include radio and television, it probably means that 6 months before June, starting in January, I'm working with my agency to begin to do the build-up to having that campaign ready by June, because it takes a long time to do this, right? We have to write a script and create a storyboard and go out into production and then edit what we've created and then buy the media time and then book, and then actually get it to run. We have to do market research along the way to say, if this is going to be the messaging, how are consumers going to respond to this? Remember last week we talked a little bit about pre-testing and post-testing of advertising? This is where this factors in.